Hey team, so today we are looking at the future and we're looking at the future version of yourself and what they would think looking back on your life. We're going to get a little bit deep with this one, so I really want you to get engaged with this and really think deeply about it, okay? It's called the rocking chair test and it's the Monday masterclass today. And what would your future self say about the choices you're making this coming week? So it's the start of the week, isn't it? It's Monday's masterclass. What would your future self say of the choices? Now you might think they wouldn't even remember, but we're going to get into this and I'm going to explain why this is going to be super important. So bear with me on this, okay? Now, why we're doing this today, most people start the week thinking about tasks. They've got emails to send, they've got meetings to attend, kids to take to school and drop off and pick up and whatever. Very few start thinking about the direction they want to head, and they are heading. Now, this session tonight is going to be about realignment. It's about clarity. It's about choosing who you want to become. And I talk about this a lot, don't I? But the reason I talk about it a lot is because it's friggin' important. And it's about lifting your eyes from the to-do list and looking at the big picture. So yes, we have to have those tasks day in, day out. Of course we do. But we also need a reason why they're going to compound, or we need to understand that they are going to compound over time for the bigger picture. So what we do today, the good things that we do today that's aligned with where you want to be, they will compound over time to create that version of yourself, okay? Now, the concept behind the rocking chair analogy, okay? If I just move myself a little bit out the way, just to here for a second. So the concept of this, imagine yourself at 80 years old. You are sitting in a rocking chair on a quiet afternoon, looking back over your life, not with regret, but with plenty of honesty, okay? Now, what mattered? Okay, what mattered in life? What didn't matter? What choices you took shaped everything? What do you wish you'd done differently? What are you proudest of? And you might be sat here thinking right now, and I wouldn't blame you if you were like, what the hell is he talking about? Okay, but if you really think about this, you will stop stressing about the little things in life. You will stop worrying about the mundane things that you constantly worry about. And it will lift a massive weight off your shoulder. And just a little simple visualization like this has the power to really cut through the bollocks, cut through the bullshit, and reveal what truly matters in life. So have a think right now, okay? What mattered? What didn't matter? What choices shaped everything? What do you wish you'd done differently? And what are you proudest of? And you must remember, you are this 80-year-old version of yourself looking back at your life, okay? And I want you to really go deep into those questions. I do want to get deep with this today, guys, because we need to hit that emotional kind of trigger point that you just think, boom, let's frigging go, okay? Now, why does this matter for your health and fitness journey and your wellness journey overall? Well, your future self won't remember these things. The number on the scale each day, whether you had a perfect week or not, that one meal that wasn't clean, perfectly clean, or if you missed a single workout, all right? That person who's 80 won't remember those things, so the person will remember that you finally decided to take control of your life, that you built a healthier, stronger, more confident version of yourself over time, that you didn't quit when life got busy and you're proud of yourself because of that, that you had the strength you discovered within yourself in difficult moments. That's what you will remember. So you won't remember whether or not you went up a pound on a Monday because you'd been out on a piss the night before. You won't remember that. What you will remember is that you really, really took control of your health and fitness long term for years and years, and that has prolonged your life massively. It's made your quality of life way better. That's what you will remember. So this is what we're looking for, okay? Not the day-to-day little things that piss you off. It's the overriding things. This is what you're going to remember because you've compounded the good stuff over time, okay? So this is why it really matters. Now, there was a study by a palliative care nurse called Bonnie Ware, all right? And she works with patients who are in the final weeks of their life. Now, I don't want to sound too morbid here, but these are the things that they regretted, the top 5 things that people regretted in their life. And I found this really interesting, okay? So number 1 was they wish they had the courage to live a truer life to themselves. And I think we are all guilty of this. Watching this now, listening to this, whatever the hell you're doing, we all wish we had more courage to live a life true to ourselves. But I think we try and live within societal means. We try to live within the social pressure, all the kind of the pressure around life. Live how you want to live your life. Take that weight off your shoulders, okay? Stop caring what people think. The second one was, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Again, this is a really, really important one because I think, again, we're constantly working hard to chase that kind of dream of financial freedom or, success. No, success, I'll tell you, success will be when you can live a long, healthy, happy life where you don't have to have a walking stick at a certain age, when you're not bedridden, when you can run around with the kids until you're bloody 90 years old. I'll tell you what, I went to go and see my granddad the other day. He's 97, I think he might be 98, and he lives on his own, got no carer. And I was just looking at him and I was like, and he's actually like absolutely sound. Absolutely sound. And I was just like, that is to be admired, and he's just looked after himself his whole life, and he's absolutely fine. 98 years old, and killing it. So there's a lot to be said, guys, for kind of really looking after yourself and making sure we're looking at the bigger picture, okay? And the little things will compound over time. The third one was, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. Again, speaking your truth instead of keeping peace. Just be who you want to be. Be that person you are. Embrace yourself, okay? Number 4 was, I wish I'd stayed in touch with people who mattered. Again, letting friendships fade. This is another big thing. And number 5 was, I wish I'd let myself be happier, realizing happiness is a choice. A lot of the stress that we put on ourselves is self-inflicted. Stress is generally a relative to your mindset in regards to something. So if something bad happens, it isn't necessarily bad unless you choose for it to be bad. Like if you, what's I'm trying to get across here? It's your mindset on a situation. Say, for example, right, here's one for you. So last week, I reversed into somebody with my car. Not an amazing thing to do, yeah? Nobody was hurt, but that's all good. In my mind, I could have been like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. My insurance is going to go up, blah, 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 blah. What I did do in the end was I started to think, you know what, it's not a major issue in life. Just kind of brush it off. It's one of those things. Let's move on. There's no point getting stressed about it now. And little things like that can just change your perception of life. We spend too much time worrying about things that we shouldn't worry about. And that's a mindset. That's your choice. You worry about things on your decision, on your back. And you might not like to hear that, but it is your decision to worry about stuff. Okay, yes, there's some terrible things going on in the world, and we should probably be worried about some of the things, but it's out of your control. So there's only a certain level of worrying you should probably do. But there's also things in life which we just worry for the sake of worrying, because it's almost like a comfort thing, that it's like, oh, if I worry about it, but if it works out, then it's all good. But if it doesn't work out, then I proved right that I was right to worry. And I don't think that's a great way to live your life. So let's just let go of that a little bit, and let's just start thinking positively every single day and lift this weight off our shoulders that we've got, because it doesn't help living in the UK at the moment. It's not a great place to be, but it's like something we can't really worry too much about. Let's just lift that weight off our shoulders, live the best possible life you can live, okay? Now, the connection to all of these, your health influences every single one of these regrets. When you feel strong, when you feel energized, when you feel confident in your own body, you have the courage to live authentically, the energy to nurture relationships, and the clarity to choose happiness. And again, it's a choice. Happiness is a choice, guys. Unhappiness can be a choice as well. So let's make sure we're making everything we can happen to make our lives the best it possibly can be. And that starts with health and fitness, because the better quality food you eat, the better your brain works, essentially. The better your body will move, the more active you are. And when you do those two things, you're in control of life. You're in control of how you feel most of the time. You're in control of how your body moves. When you're in control, there's less stress, and we can move on and focus on other things in life, okay? Now, guided visualization here. I want you to close your eyes for a second, okay? I want you to picture yourself at 80 years old, sitting comfortably in that rocking chair, just rocking back and forth. Lovely rocking chair, all right? Now, your future self stands up from the chair, walks towards you, looks directly into your eyes, and says one sentence, okay? Now, what is that sentence they say to you? Do they say, thank you for not giving up on me? Do they say, I wish you'd started sooner? Do they say, I'm so proud of you? Or do they say, you didn't quit when it mattered most, okay? Hold that sentence, hold that feeling that you've got from that sentence. And I know this might seem a bit hippy-dippy, but trust me, it's a really good way of thinking about it. That voice, that's your message for the week, okay? Don't give up. Don't wish you'd started sooner. Be proud of yourself. Don't quit when it matters most. Okay, this is super important, guys, and I really, really want you to take this on board this week, okay? And the real question of all of this is, if your 80-year-old self could, if I just move myself, I can't see that. If your 80-year-old self could make one decision for you today, what would it be? So, would it be make better food choices throughout the day? Would it be get that workout done, no excuses? Would it be take that 20-minute walk to clear your head? Would it be back yourself and trust the process? Would it be not to quit when life gets busy or overwhelming? What would it be? If your 80-year-old self could make one decision for you today, what would it be? All right, have a good think about that as well. And I want you to really, really take this on board and do this week, okay? I want you to be proactive with this. Now, the link to your goals, how does all this link to your goals? Well, your future self won't care about perfection. They won't remember the days where you hit 100% or you scored a perfect nutrition day. They won't. But what it will care about is your consistency, the small daily choices that you do consistently that add up. Stop looking for motivation. You won't need it ever again if you do this, okay? The weeks you kept going when your motivation fades, the months when you stacked momentum on top of each other, because these are the choices that change your entire life doing those things. Not whether or not you had a perfect day on a Monday, it's whether or not you were consistent with the majority of the actions you take over time, and that will help you create the person that you want to become, okay? Because at the end of the day, it's the version of you that you want to become. That is the ultimate goal here. And that's what we should all be striving to achieve. And if you do the things that align with that vision daily, you can't fail to become that person. It really is as simple as that, guys. All right. So your tasks for this week are as follows. Do one thing every day that your future self is going to thank you for, okay? So that could be prepping your breakfast and your lunch the night before. Simple, 5-10 minutes, job done. It could be hitting your daily step target, okay? It could be logging your meals as honestly as you can. It could be completing your planned workout. It could be choosing the healthier version instead of opting for that unhealthy, easy version. Or it could be going to bed 20 minutes earlier and not scrolling on your phone. You know, what are you going to do this week? Just one of these would be great. If you can do all of them, bloody go for it. But just one, let's just start building some momentum with that, all right? And I just, more than anything, I want you to think about this and what is actually going on. So what is one decision your 80-year-old self would make for you today? That's the overriding theme of this here. What is that one decision your 80-year-old self would make for you today, please? And I really want you to get into your head, into your thoughts about that, okay? But guys, your future self is watching, give them something to smile about. You know, I think we will look back on life one day and think, wow, that went fast in the blink of an eye. We want to make sure that we live it to the absolute maximum. And in my opinion, living life to the maximum means that you are in a great place with your health and fitness and wellness and mindset, okay? We get those things sorted. You can live a really, really carefree, happy life the vast majority of the time with the things that you can control, okay? Your future self is watching every choice that you make this week, every meal, every meal decision even, every workout you show up for or skip, every moment you choose consistency over convenience. Give that person, the 80-year-old version of you, something to be very proud of. Give them evidence that you cared about your future. Make this week count and make it really count for the grand scheme of your life, all right? You are not just living this week, you're building towards that foundation of who you are going to become, okay? So guys, make this week count. Show up, stay consistent, keep your promises, be present for yourself every single day. Small actions repeated make big results, and the ones that keep the promises, the ones that make the ones that you make to yourself that are going to matter most, all right? You are building the life that your future self is going to thank you for, and you will be thankful that you put the work in now, because you'll be able to live the rest of your life in a great place, all right? Every single choice matters. Every day counts. Let's really go for it. And every choice matters in terms of whether it's a good choice or a bad choice. It's how you react to that choice. Okay, so guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Hopefully this has been a good Monday masterclass. It's a deep one. I hope you've taken it on board. Let's implement this stuff. Really think about this quite often, about your future self, what they would think about what you're doing right now, and we can go from there. All right, have a good one. Let me know if you need me. Speak to you later.